Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe so you can catch the spills every week. And don't forget to hit that bell up top so we can squad up in the comments for the first hour. Alright, so trailer 2 for Infinity War is just, oh my god, like insane. It's too much to really just put all in one video. So a couple parts I'm just going to break up into their own videos, and then I'll talk about the full summary of my thoughts of it, and the rest will just fall into my Infinity War playlist, link down in the description, because I don't want to try and cram it all in one video and miss a few of the points that I want to hit. Alright, so first and foremost, I don't think this is Thor, but the person who this actually is definitely about to die, that's for sure. And stay with me here, but I believe it's Heimdall, by way of Loki making it appear to be Thor. Yeah, Heimdall, I said that, but I could see Heimdall making this sacrifice to save Thor's life, and Loki using the Tesseract to get Thor out of there, sending him to a specific location which happens to be where the Guardians are at. And I'm not saying Loki did this because he loves his brother so much and he wants to save his life. No, he's trying to get him out the way. Whether it's in a plan to cooperate with Thanos, or he's of his own devices trying to take the Earth for himself, it could be either or. And so in that post-credit scene from Ragnarok where they see Thanos' ship pull up, at this point, I believe they're very close to Earth. And around this time, one or two things happened that we didn't see. One, Heimdall saw Thanos approaching, was going to tell Thor. Loki stopped him, was like, hey, I have the Tesseract, this is what he wants, we gotta get this and Thor out of here. Or two, when Thanos arrived, he was genuinely surprised, and he's well aware of who the Black Order are, and he knows from jump that they're gonna kill everybody on this ship. So he comes up with the same plan after sending the real Thor away, and a little bit of that is to spare his life, because he knows when the Black Order boards the ship, the real Thor would fight to his death to save Asgard and to keep Thanos from getting another Infinity Stone. So he sends the real Thor away kind of as a policy to save his own ass, because he knows if Thanos spares any, he will spare somebody who delivers. Because he has a reputation for that. If you do what you say you're going to do, he'll honor that for the time being. And don't get it twisted, that's just the past for that moment. So don't get comfortable, there are no permanent pardons with Thanos. And we definitely saw this play out in the Infinity event back in 2013 when Black Dwarf came to him empty-handed. And Black Dwarf got off light. Like, his punish was Thanos' version of a slap on the wrist. Like, he let him off easy. But in that instance, he gave him the KO and banished him, and pretty much telling him, as far as the children of Thanos go, you grounded until the stars die. And that was really one of his rare moments of mercy. So as far as Loki's concerned, he's like, okay, I'm gonna trade all you just to make sure I get out of this. And I believe Valkyrie will die having an honorable death trying to protect Asgard. Korg and Meek, yeah, it's gonna be swift and painless. Hulk, hopefully we'll see him go toe-to-toe with Black Dwarf, which will be a great introduction for his character, and he'll be going by the name Cull Obsidian in the film. I keep calling him by his name from the comics. And hopefully, just hopefully, we get an epic fight between him and Hulk, and instead of us getting a clear winner, he knocks Hulk out of the ship, Hulk goes flying down to Earth, and he lands in the Sanctum Sanctorum. And what happens from that point we know a bit more about because of the prequel comics. But as far as the actual place that Loki uses the Tesseract to send Thor, it could be anywhere. He could have been trying to send him to make another hammer. It's possible that he knew the Power Stone was on Xandar and he sent him there, and that's how the Guardians ran into Thor, like literally. But this is banking on the theory that Loki sent Thor away with the idea of, okay, if this goes south later on, I need you to come back and get me, and just sends him away to whatever location. But I believe when Thor runs into the Guardians, he sees the bigger picture, and he's more focused on saving the universe, which is the Guardians' same focus. But when he meets the Guardians, they're pressed for time. The Guardians have to get to Earth because Thor tells them that's where Thanos is and he's about to get another stone, specifically referring to Vision, because even though Thor met Doctor Strange, I don't think he knows that Doctor Strange has the Time Stone. Like, I don't think Doctor Strange shares that information until Stark and Banner come to the Sanctum Sanctorum. And once they arrive, then Strange tells them everything that he's recently learned from Wong about the other stones and where they're at. And this is how Stark finds out about the Reality Stone and how all the other stones come into play, really just catching him up like Doctor Strange in the prequel, so he finds out everything that Wong knows. But going back to Thor, while he's there with the Guardians, I believe that's where Gamora's telling the whole story of her childhood and Thanos and him wanting to wipe out half the universe. And I believe she's having this discussion with Thor and not Stark, because you know the trailers cut and blend certain scenes to make them seem like they're together. This one's a little more obvious because we can see Tony's at the Sanctum Sanctorum, and it's likely that after he gets there, it cuts away, cuts back, and when it gets back, he's like, what was his name again? And that's the opening scene of it coming back and letting us know that they had a conversation, and probably not not even about Thanos. More likely about Agamotto or the Collector, but probably not Thanos. Thanos won't come up until Banner comes crashing in like a meteor. And even at that point, it's tough to say what he'll be able to recall, because most of the time when he's the Hulk and he turns back to Banner, he only remembers things like waking up from a dream. But from the time he comes crashing in and he tells them what he knows, between that time and the time that they go outside, I don't think it'll be that long. Just long enough for him to put on a jacket, they talk a little, and then more things come crashing down. But once again, back to Thor. I believe that Rocket told Thor where exactly he would need to go to make another hammer. And this is why Thor, Rocket, and Groot split up from the rest of the Guardians, because they didn't have the time just to make a stop. They had to get to Earth ASAP, but also they needed all the heavy hitters they can get, because you still have the children of Thanos to deal with. And that's why they split up, and Rocket led Thor to this place where he could forge Uru metal and create a new hammer. And this may or may not be the same place the last hammer was made. Like, it might be one of those instances where Rocket's like, hey, I know a guy. But then they get there and the guy's dead, so they have to use his equipment and kind of work things out themselves. But yeah, let me know you guys' thoughts as far as this theory, because this is more so Loki's plan kind of theory. And unlike Get Help, which is one of Thor's plans, Loki's plans are a bit more darker and deceptive. And we've seen that before in Thor: The Dark World, because even when it seemed like he was cooperating, his end goal was to get himself back on the throne of Asgard. And the execution was brilliant, because you really thought Thor lost his hand. And I feel like Infinity War is going to give us another one of those Thor moments where you think he's going to die, but then later you see his body turn into the actual body of who was really killed. But that's it for this one, guys. There's still plenty more in this trailer I want to talk about. And like I said earlier, I'll tack them onto a playlist, either that Infinity War playlist or just the Movie Talk playlist. Either way, I'll let you guys know, either down in the comments or over on Twitter. I got links up for other videos on Infinity War talk. I just recently did one on the Outriders, so you guys can check that out. In case you guys are wondering about all them roaches trying to get into Wakanda, I already got you covered, like Outriders on a Hulkbuster. But drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Alright, later.